us on Twitter or ban us from watching the program or say we have no soul. And then they come out and do exactly what we've been saying they've been doing, that they get mad about when we talk about it. And all we're saying is exactly what they're doing. So if they're mad at us for verbally describing everything that they're doing on television, then why don't they just quit doing that shit? Or do different shit? I don't know how they want us to react, Brian. Are we supposed to be laughing here? Because I got to be honest, all the people on Twitter, do a welfare check, do a health check on Cornette. Did he have number one? I do not watch either one of these programs on Wednesday night, folks. I get up at 6 o'clock in the morning. I fill orders all day. We record podcasts all day. I have a puppy that needs belly rubs. And by the time I eat dinner and lay down to go to sleep about 8:30, 8:45, I ain't going to watch this shit right before I go to bed. I'll have fucking nightmares. I get up the next morning and I condense all the punishment into one watching period where I can zip through the commercials and the entrances and the various things that we have rules on and get to the meat of the matter. So I appreciate everybody asking me about a welfare check, but I couldn't even get mad at this show because it's just ridiculous.
Well,
as I mentioned, go ahead.
I was going to say, I assume when you watch in the morning, you have a healthy breakfast.
Well, absolutely I do. I'll tell you what I start out with. Well, I almost forgot this morning, but I start out with Magic Spoon. Magic Spoon will start your morning out right, folks. You know, you used to love cereal when you were a kid, but you had to give it up because it was full of sugar and junk and carbohydrates and chemicals, and you can't eat that stuff anymore, especially as you get older. You're trying to stay healthy. If you're trying to cut down on carbs or sugar, unhealthy food. There's a lot of things you can't eat, but good cereal is not one of them. You can start your day off and start it off right with our friends at Magic Spoon. 4 different flavors: cocoa, fruity, frosted, and blueberry. 0 sugar, 11 grams of protein, only 3 net grams of carbs in each serving, and it tastes amazing. Brian, your whole family, the kids and everything, Stacy here, they eat it like snack food, just out of a cup, or they eat it in a bowl like regular cereal. It's keto-friendly, gluten-free, grain-free, soy-free, low-carb, and GMO-free. And if you want to get a variety pack, and we dare you to get a variety pack because you'll see it's the best cereal in the world. Go to magicspoon.com/Jim. magicspoon.com/Jim. Grab a variety pack. When you use the promo code Jim at checkout, you'll get free shipping. And Magic Spoon's so confident, it's backed with 100% happiness guarantee. If you don't like it for any reason, they'll refund your money, no questions asked. magicspoon.com/Jim, Jim. Use the code Jim for free shipping. And thank you, folks at Magic Spoon, for sponsoring our fine podcast. I was so verklempt when we almost got into the musical comedy, I forgot about breakfast. Yeah. All right, let's go back to this other mother. I'm not going to finish that word. What was that girl's name that used to be on Friends? She her first gig in show business was she starred in the Bruce Springsteen music video. What was it? Courtney Cox. Cox, that's right. I knew I'd remember that name, Cox. Yeah. Anyway, the AEW program actually opened up with crowd pans, the announcers billboarding the show, entrances. It looked like the opening of a wrestling program this week. And the first match was the first round in the AEW title elimination tournament. Basically, it's an 8-man tournament. The winner of this tournament gets a shot at the AEW title. Wardlow versus Jungle Boy. And I wrote, good God, this booking. Because why would you just do this to either one of these guys? They make the classic mistake that they always make, that they assume that this talent is over because their same audience of pea-brained nitwits cheers for them. If you go to the mall and scream out at the top of your lungs, "Who's Wardlow? Who's Jungle Boy?" Some old guy might say Bamba. But they were trying to do a big man, little man match. And I saw somebody tweeted that, well, at least Jungle Boy gave a good accounting of himself. The first half of this match was very good, and then they lost the fucking plot. But the point is, in just a first-round cold TV match, why sacrifice Jungle Boy, one of your only baby faces with some charisma, to get beat up by Wardlow? And then, unfortunately, they didn't sacrifice him enough, because if you're going to sacrifice a guy to get beat up by Wardlow, he needed to get beat up by Wardlow. Jungle Boy came out with Dino Douche and Dwarf Dong Sucker, but they didn't stay ringside. And the match started out, it was good big man, little man stuff that they were doing. Their hearts were in the right place. The psychology, what was laid out, but Wardlow is so green at registering and staggering for the smaller opponent, but not looking like he's waiting for the shit. Do you understand what I'm saying there?
I understand.
A lot of big guys that just stagger and wobble and wait for shit, right? I'll tell you, Big Bubba Rogers instantly learned it. You go back and watch his matches from when he was the first year in the business. In 1986, was Ole Anderson. Some of these people, he's fucking rocking and registering, but he looks off kilter when he has to be, not like he's standing there waiting on it. Anyway, but the heat spot was Wardlow buckle bombing Jungle Boy out on the floor into the fucking ring post. And it looked good. And then he lackadaisically rolled him back in the ring and went for a cover and didn't even get a 2 count by the time he did it. This could have been a great fucking spot if you're going to do that, to get heat on the fucking heel by doing that to some babyface and hurting him, or this babyface and hurting him, but as a heat spot to go to the break, and as it gets a 1 count. Excrement had all kinds of word vomit explaining how the ring posts are square. That was, thank you for chiming in with that, Sockface. We couldn't have lived without that information. So then after a buckle bomb into the fucking ring post, Wardlow kicks the shit out of Jungle Boy for, would you call that quite a while? That he just tossed him around and beat him up?
Yeah, I guess so.
After all that punishment, when it was time, then Jungle Boy started doing dives and springboard drop kicks off the top rope and spinning DDTs. Fresh as a daisy. Then Wardlow had to go up to, Jungle Boy's on the ropes, but Wardlow's got to go up to the top to give Jungle Boy a move. Like, why would Wardlow go to the top rope on purpose to begin with? Whereas the only chance this little kid might have of fucking beating him. So, of course, he goes up there so the Jungle Boy can do a reverse, have a Corona off the top rope on the guy 100 pounds heavier than him, and this whole thing degenerated into a fucking indie-style spot fest. Jungle Boy was getting close 2 counts on Wardlow after being buckle bombed into the post as a heat spot. And then finally Wardlow F5s Brock Lesnar's finish, F5's Jungle Boy. While they're on the ramp, he picks him up and F5s him into the ring over the top rope from the ramp, and then gets in the ring and gives him another one in the ring. 1, 2, 3. What the fuck? Give 1. It would have been... And don't do the less spectacular 1 second. Even though the bump was better on the second one, the idea that you picked this guy up and flung him into the ring over the top...
Watch me do my thing.
Wardlow finally beat Jungle Boy after Jungle Boy found the Fountain of Youth and the, restorer, the old native Indian energy restorer that he drank in the middle of the fucking match. I don't know what the fuck. It didn't do anything for anybody because Wardlow doesn't look like he can beat Little Jungle Boy, and Little Jungle Boy should have been put in that position because all he can do is what he's been taught by the rest of these outlaws he's surrounded himself with, which is do moves instead of show the impact and effect of them and have a match that makes sense. And he's getting short. Jungle Boy is getting fucked worse than almost anybody in this because he could be a fucking star. It's somewhere with somebody. It's not even, if the WWE doesn't exist now as some place that a star can be made, but they would probably use him smarter than these fucking nitwits have, putting him with Dwarf Dong Sucker and Dino Douche. But I hate that he can't go to a territory and have somebody like a Bill Watts that says, I'm going to make you a fucking big deal, and do it. What'd you think of this thing?
I don't disagree with your points, but even with that said, I thought it was a good little match. Now, there's a plausibility issue. I mean, they brought him out. What did they say he weighed?
Oh, God.
Was it 158 pounds?
I said somewhere around 160, thereabouts.
So, I mean, that's a problem, because he's in there with a monster who should be just mowing over people. So if you can get past that, which I had to, I thought it was a good match. Every match doesn't have to be a back and forth. Every match doesn't have to have guys kicking out of everything. I hate to see Jungle Boy squashed, because I think there's a lot of potential what you could do with him, despite the fact that he looks like one of the Simpson brothers from World Class.
Yeah, he does. Just even thinner.
But I thought it was all right. I didn't have a major problem. Of all the things I'm going to complain about with AEW, I now have to separate what I could shrug at, what I have a minor problem with, and what I have a big problem with.
Okay, then let me, in the spirit of our musical comedy episode, let me say that, hey, nobody got dropped on their head, carried out on a stretcher. Nobody teleported. Nobody broke into song. There was nobody invisible. This was a great match.
You see?
Yeah.
You can't say that for everything on this show, the list of things you just said.
Fortunately, we get a little reprieve because next up was Dr. Britt Baker, and of course we invoke the tooth and nail rule because that thing was so bad on a major basis that we will not watch anything with Britt Baker, who we enjoyed, her pal Reba, who we enjoyed, or Big Swole, who nobody's ever enjoyed.
And for the record, we enjoyed their personalities.
Yes.
The AEW women's division is a disaster.
Well, no, didn't enjoy their matches, but Britt Baker, we were getting a kick out of because she was really getting the heel thing down. But nevertheless, tooth and nail rule, cannot watch that. We skip ahead to another reason 647 why I don't like Darby Allin despite my best efforts. He runs me off every time. He's got charisma, he's athletic, he's way too small, but he makes it work for him. He's got the different weird vibe that the kids would like, and he's a complete blithering dipshit in real life. And every time I start liking him, and they show another one of these videos, and well, this guy's just stupid. Steve-O, not Steve Olsonowski, the Minnesota wrestler, but Steve-O, the idiot from Jackass. And by the way, just so I'll say this, just so everybody is reminded of it, I hate Steve-O, I hate Johnny Knoxville, I hate every single one of those stupid jackass idiots. Never was a show better named. Garbage, trashy people on fucking drugs with no jobs, kicking each other in the balls and videotaping it. Suddenly they get a movie and a television show. That's a classic example of failing your way to the top. I don't think these people should be rewarded or made over or complimented because that then spawns more of them. More stupid, idiot, freak, goofy white people that damage themselves for no reason, spray themselves in the face with mace, roll bowling balls into their nuts, whatever the case, just because they're stupid and they want to hoot. I never did that when I was a kid, never did it when I was a teenager, never did it when I was an adult. Not unless it was a calculated risk that I was getting paid sums of money for. This idiot, Steve O, introduces the other idiot, Darby Allin, does his promo for him. Darby Allin still speaks like 5 words in this whole thing and just lurks in the background to get ready for his big shot at the fucking TV title or the TNT title or the AEW title or whatever fucking title. Darby Allin is going to train himself by putting himself in a body bag, crawling up to the top of one of those skateboard ramps those stupid skateboard fucks jump off of. And he rolls himself in the body bag. It didn't roll, actually, just rolled off the edge and dropped. What was the unearthly point of that? It didn't even look like a cool trick. He just fell off a fucking shelf in a bag. I didn't know that it was possible to make professional wrestlers look any more stupid and ignorant to the general public. But this fucking clown has achieved it. I think he's so stupid. The reason why he only paints half his face is because he's so stupid he can't find the other half. What was this all about? And by the way, Steve O with Jackass was on the air 20 years ago. Is he still a thing, a person? Or is this just them finding, like TNA would, some goof that used to be a celebrity and slipping him a couple of dollars because they think somebody will give a shit?
I don't know what Steve-O currently does. I mean, there are still a lot of people who remember Jackass. There were movies. It was big on MTV.
20 years ago.
It's been a while.
Was Steve-O some kind of alcoholic and drug addict that went broke and blew all his money? Got weird tattoos? And said, well, I guess I'm just describing the entire AEW audience.
I think you may be right. I haven't really followed Steve-O's career too closely, I must admit. I can't tell you what the point of Darby doing all these videos, it's, the jumping off buildings or this and that.
It's getting him over as a wrestler.
Can you imagine if he broke his arm doing that?
Well, yeah, and I would fucking laugh my ass off. You know why? Because I don't wish misfortune on people that don't do stupid shit. There's all kinds of accidents that happen, and wrestling ain't ballet, and you can trip coming off the curb and get run over by a car these days. But to do this shit for nothing is beyond the pale stupid, and he deserves everything he gets. He put himself in a plastic body bag, rolled off about a 15-foot shelf and dropped to a wooden fucking ramp below, and then unzipped the bag, got out of it, and said, yeah, now I'm going to win the title. Yeah, the title of world's stupidest fucking human being. You human Q-tip. The fuck? Anyway, thanks for making wrestlers look really good on national television, you dimwit dipshit. But we're laughing. Do you have any show tunes we can say? Oklahoma, where the wind comes screaming down the plains, where the corn's as high as an elephant's eye. Was that Rodgers and Hammerstein?
I believe so.
All right.
They revived it a few years ago.
Cheated on Hammerstein with Hart, by the way, for a while. Remember that?
They revived that play on Broadway a few years back because I saw the commercials here in the local greater New York area.
Well, that's what whenever I've gone to Oklahoma, I've seen corn as high as an elephant's eye.
Oh, what a beautiful morning. See, I gave you a little bit of singing.
Can you sing Far, Far Away?
I will not. I'm not saying if I can or can't, but I will not.